The Toronto Maple Leafs dropped Game 4 to the Boston Bruins, and things continue to get worse for the Leafs. And one of their top prospects is making his way over to North America, which could be a huge impact on their future. I'll get into that later on this episode. Before I start, I just want to give a huge shout out to the 3,200 of you guys that are subscribed. It's awesome to see the community growing and seeing you guys enjoy this content. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button. It's completely free and you'll stay up to date with everything to do in the NHL. But with that, let's hop straight into the first topic today, which is Leafs prospect heading to North America. Now, obviously, the Leafs prospect I am talking about, if you've been following any social media at all, is Nikita Grebyonkin. He is playing in the KHL. They did just win the KHL championships. His team did, and so did he. And the big thing with this is, as you can see with this report, was there wasn't any expected news for the Leafs on Grebyonkin until his KHL contract was expired or terminated. And the big thing with this on him coming to Toronto, we do have more updates on this from the KHL's English Twitter account saying that they have terminated his contract with the 20-year-old forward, Nikita Grebyonkin, on a mutual agreement. So it seems like it's just a matter of time if Grebyonkin makes it over for the Marlies. If he makes it over for the start of training camp, Grebyonkin is heading to Toronto, and he has said this before. The big thing with Grebyonkin is he was a huge impact on this KHL roster, and he was making a breakout season. Like it says here, he is just 20 years old, and having a 20-year-old that is having a breakout, is coming over to North America to start next season, or at some point this year, is going to be a huge impact for the Leafs. The first thing I did want to touch on, if he does come to North America and does play with the Marlies, it does burn a year of his entry-level contract, his ELC. But the big thing with this is getting him in, getting him reps, getting him used to North American ice is going to be big for his development. Now, Grebyonkin is a guy that a lot of people might not know about, as he was a 5th-round pick, 135th overall in the 2022 draft. The big thing with Grebyonkin is he is a bit of a big body, weighing 192 pounds, 6'2". He is a winger. Like I said, he's Russian, from Russia, playing in the KHL, just at the age of 21. When you do read on the bottom, he does have remarkable stick handling, can get creative to challenge defensemen one-on-one pretty fast too. And the biggest thing with Grebyonkin that a lot of fans might not know about, because if you do look online, it doesn't say it a lot, is this guy is a physical force. We see him lay huge hits in the KHL. We've seen him fight in the KHL. This is a guy playing at the top of the league in Russia. He won the KHL championships. He's not afraid to fight. He can lay the body. And looking at his stats from the KHL this season, in 67 games, 19 goals, 22 assists, 41 points. You see him carry on into the playoffs. In 23 games, he had 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 points. And this is a guy, like I said, that is only 21 years old, still playing outstanding in the KHL. Yes, his points per game did drop getting into the playoffs, as you can see with 6. But if you do look at his stats from year after year, we can see that he did play with sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. He did put up 26 points in 45 games. We can see he had 64 points in the MHL, so the junior league of the KHL, and this season putting up 41 points in 67 games at 21, being one of the leading scorers on his team. This guy is going to develop, and it's an exciting time to be a Leafs fan when it comes to prospects. Like I said, Grebyonkin is going to come over. We've seen it from reports that as soon as the contract termination was happening, that he confirmed that he's heading to Toronto. Right after this, we did see from the KHL's English Instagram or Twitter account, that he has been terminated and it was a mutual agreement. So it is just a matter of time before we get the breaking news that Grebyonkin is heading to Toronto. Like I said, this could be happening as I'm recording this, and I'm going to put it out, and everyone said, oh, it's already happened. But this guy is coming to North America. This is a guy that's going to fight to make the Leafs roster next season, and at the very least, he will be a huge impact on the Marlies as he develops to make his way to the NHL. So what are you guys' thoughts on Grebyonkin? Are you excited for him to come over? Would you burn the 1 year of his entry-level contract to get him in some games with the Marlies? Or would you rather wait, let him fight it out in training camp, and maybe make the big club next season? But with that, we'll hop straight into the second topic today, which is a topic a lot of people don't want to talk about, but things may be over. Now, if you watched the game last night against the Boston Bruins at all, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The Toronto Maple Leafs drop Game 4 to the Boston Bruins as the Bruins take a 3-1 series lead. If you just kind of look at the scores heading into it and in the playoffs, things haven't went the Leafs' way. We've seen they dropped the game against the Lightnings. Obviously, this is not a huge just kind of thing that people are going to be worried about, as it was the final game. Game 82, they didn't have the full roster in. We see the first game, they lost 5-1 to the Bruins. Second game, the Leafs did win in the TD Garden, which made a lot of Leafs fans kind of excited and optimistic. Then we see the 4-2 loss, and then once again, the Leafs drop the game 3-1 to the Boston Bruins as the Bruins just take the lead in the series. Now, the biggest thing with this is how are they going to kind of bounce back from this? What are the steps to take? When you do look at the stats of the Leafs, they didn't have a bad game on paper. 25 shots to Boston's 22. We see the faceoffs were in the Leafs' favor, winning almost a double what the Bruins did win. We see on the power play, the Leafs continue to struggle. This is going to be one of the biggest things that will haunt this Leafs team. This is the Leafs team that at one point had a 50% power play percentage. They look lethal. Heading into the end of the season, the power play did start to struggle. And once again, 0 for 3, we're seeing the struggle happening here. They out-hit the Bruins 49-23. We see the penalty minutes were split down the middle, 8-8. Obviously, the Bruins capitalized on one of their power plays. We see the block shots the Bruins dominated the Leafs in. Giveaways, takeaways were roughly the same. But I wanted to focus on the power play. The first thing the Leafs need to do if they want to claw themselves out of this 3-1 hole is to fix this power play. We see game after game, they don't look fluent. They're really struggling to move the puck, get things going. They're really setting things up to their failure. Like I said, 0 for 3. The Leafs have been abysmal on the power play. Something needs to change here, and that leads to Sheldon Keefe needing to make the switch. Maybe we want to see JT move down to the second unit. Maybe we want to see a guy like Marner. Maybe Matthews might not even play Game 5, which leads me into the next screenshot on how we all seen last night. Auston Matthews will not return to tonight's game per the Maple Leafs PR. Obviously, this was talking about Auston Matthews at the end of the the second period. Going to the locker room, he did not return to the bench going into the third period, and the Leafs were playing without their top player and shorthanded for the rest of the game. The biggest issues with this is we've seen Sheldon Keefe kind of talk on it after Matthews left during the third period, and he said, for whatever reason, it's not one of those run-of-the-mill, everyday type of illnesses that sort of comes and goes. The effects have lingered, and it's gotten worse when he gets out on the ice. We just have to manage that, give him the time he needs. Obviously, we're just hopeful that he will return. And this was revealing prior to Game 4 that Matthews was recovering from an illness, which forced him to take maintenance days between the games. And we haven't seen what Auston Matthews can do, as he is struggling a lot. I know the Bruins are going to be hard to beat. We've seen the Florida Panthers come back 3-1 against the Bruins last year, so I am optimistic the Leafs can do it, but we're really going to have to see these players step up. Joseph Woll, in my opinion, has to start Game 5. He looked great in the third period. Samsonov has been doing his best. He has been kind of left to dry by the defensemen, so I wouldn't put the full blame on him, but changes need to happen. Maybe Nylander moves up to this top line if Matthews is playing. Maybe we see Domi move down to the third line. Whatever they're doing, they need to fix this. The Bruins are showing they want this so much more. The Leafs need to secure the next 3 wins, and it's not going to be easy. And if they do lose this, we might see this core kind of just break up after this. It's a very important next 48 hours on if the Toronto Maple Leafs that we know and love right now are going to be completely dismantled heading into the offseason. So what are your guys' thoughts on this? How do you think they fix this? Are you excited for the next game? Are you not watching next game? What do they need to do? How would you make the lines? Let me know down in the comments. But talking about comments, let's get into everyone's favorite topic, which is comments of the day. And the comment today comes from Daniel. He says, "Go Leafs, go. I hate the Bees." I know everyone watching this, unless you're a Boston Bruins fan watching this, does hate Boston. A lot of fan bases do. They're such a good team. They're really putting the Leafs in their place this series. So it's hard not to hate them right now, but you do need to respect their game as they just want it so much more. But that'd be it for this episode of Hat Trick HQ. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to go down and leave a like, leave a comment. You could be featured on the next episode as comment of the day. With that, take care. Let's hope the Leafs can win next game. See you later.